Are you ready and excited and just overly excited, looking forward to seeing all of your wins of Shoujosei in the year of 2024? Because today, friends, that is what we are doing. Get ready to celebrate. Hello friends, happy Friday. It's the first Friday of this year and I'm very excited because I have been working on this secret project for some time now. And I went through almost every single publisher and I marked their debut manga for 2024, their licenses for 2024, and any series that ended in the year of 2024 for almost every single English Shoujosei manga, as well as manhwa and light novel that came out again in the year of 2024. This has been my secret project and I am thrilled, more than excited to be sharing all these things with you. I have made like a PowerPoint that we're going to be looking at everything, and I do mean everything. So please go ahead, grab something to drink, grab something to eat, because I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm sure there's going to be some excited rambles because y'all, the reason I filmed this video is because sometimes, you know, at the end of the year, you're reflecting on things that happened and it may feel like, you know, we really didn't get that much Shoujosei in 2024. And I was like, you know, no, I know for a fact that there were wins. And I was like, I want to see this for myself. I'm like, even if nobody else is interested, even nobody else asked for this, I want to see what wins we had in 2024 because I really feel like the publishers delivered. And I truly hope that today's video shows and reflects that yes, you had wins, I had wins. And last year, the publishers said we want to deliver and that they came through. Though we're not going to lie that there were some publishers that came through more than others. But before we officially start and dive in, I do want to say right now, I am human, I make mistakes, but I have tried my very best to include every Shoujosei manga that I could find. So I do ask for grace, and if there's something I missed that you would kindly, please very kindly point it out to me, because again, I tried, I put so much time and heart into this. There were times I was frustrated because I missed something, I had to go redo all of the slides I had made. So again, please give me grace if there's anything that I messed up on, if there's any numbers that are wrong, though I have tried to I did double check everything. So again, please just give me grace if there's anything that I miss, and I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I really hope you enjoy this because I'm so excited. So let's go ahead, dive into Shoujosei Wrapped, a look back at all of the English Shoujosei manga, manhwa, light novels, and more that came out in the year of 2024. Before I say the number of Shoujosei manga that was printed in 2024, how many do you think we have? How many do you think we have? Because when I saw this number, y'all, I was excited. 599. Now I'm going to pause here and say, as my little note says, I did not include J Novel Club or Tokyo Pop. This was not a slight to them. I love including them in my release calendars that I share every month. Honestly, I just did not have enough information on hand that I felt confident of going through both of these publishers and including them in this PowerPoint presentation thing, because that's what I have it on camera, so we're just gonna call it that. I did not have all the information. When I started making the Shoujosei release calendars, that was in May, and I was depending on somebody else to provide all that information before the month of May, or the months before May, and I just did not feel confident that I could go back in time or go back at the beginning of the year and track all of them. So again, this was not to slight them. That just means we had 599 that I could track, but we definitely have more than what this number conveys. Also, J Novel and Tokyo Pop, my goal for this year of 2025 is to track them better because Tokyo Pop doesn't necessarily do license announcements the same way everybody else does, and J Novel is the same where they do theirs via Twitch streams. So both of those are hard, and I have to usually depend on somebody else to say, hey, this got put up on Amazon, or hey, this got licensed at this Twitch stream, because usually I don't find them otherwise. So we're not going to focus on them, but I firmly believe they should be part of this. Hopefully this upcoming year, if I do this again, which I would like to, they will definitely be included. But excluding them, unfortunately, we had 599 Shoujosei manga, manhwa, light novels that were released. Let's look at this by publisher. Here we have all the publishers, you know, except for J Novel and Tokyo Pop. And when you look right at it, you can see that IZE Press delivered with almost 30% of our Shoujosei releases of 2024. Quickly behind them, though, is 7 Season Steamship with almost 28%. And shockingly enough, Kodansha came in third with almost almost 27%. I was really shocked to see Kodansha in the top 3, honestly. But I was on the flip side, seeing Square Enix and especially One Piece books give us almost 3% was mind-blowing to me because I don't know a lot of people that read One Piece books. I feel like it was Tales of the Tendo family when people started checking them out. Though Yusutoki Rhetoric, I think, was like their debut Shoujosei, rightfully deserves to be checked out. Honestly, that's what put them on my radar. And then we have Shojo Beat and Viz with almost 12%, and then Inklore with 1.2%. Keep in mind that Inklore technically didn't actually launch their first manga. I think it was until roughly around August of 2024, so that number is definitely very small. Though based off of their publishing practices for 2024, I don't know how much more that number is going to grow because yes, they are small, but I do feel like they have a very small amount of licenses and things that they're releasing in general. Maybe that could change in the year of 2025, I guess, to be determined there. But that is the pie chart for all these different Shoujosei releases that we had. Now let's break it down even further and see what exactly each publisher released when it came to manga, light novels, manhwa, audiobook, and then I put art book and book set together because I think we had 2 art books this year, 1 box set, which was Vampire Knight. Oh, no, we had 2 box sets because we had the Sailor Moon box set and then we have Vampire Knight, and I know we had the My Happy Marriage art book, and there was one for, I'm blanking on that creator's name, but then we had a certain creator, we had her work published as well as an art book. That one came from IZE Press. Looking at this, when it comes to specifically manga, Kodansha took that win. They gave us the most manga in 2024, which again, I'm really shocked by that number. If someone were to tell me that Kodansha had the most manga, like that they were publishing, I'd be like, no, because it doesn't feel that way. And I think because, we'll look at it later, I think it's just because of the amount of digital that they had. But going in second though is 7 Seasons Steamship, and then, you know, Yen and IZE Press with third, and then Shojo Beat. I was not surprised to see how much manhwa came from Yen and IZE Press because I really feel like they have been pushing and encouraging readers to check out their manhwa that they have, but really they've just been publishing more manhwa, which I am happy about, but my wallet, no. No, it's not. And I do feel like those 7 seasons have a lot of manhwa. My bar chart saying that they had 10 this year. They do offer manhwa, like, because they have what? Who Made Me Princess was one that they had going for a long time. I feel like there's another big one that they have, but maybe it's just Who Made Me a Princess. But they do have a little bit of that, and I feel like they also did license a little bit more manhwa for 2025. Shojo Beat, I feel like, has been, as most people say, keeping it safe, I think, but I feel like at least they have that reputation of regularly giving us shoujo, and Square Enix and One Piece books were super close. They were super close. They were off by 1. No, they had the same amount. It's just there was 1 more for the art book that Square Enix had for My Happy Marriage. And then Inklore way at the bottom again. They came out in 2024. Now, since I have been doing the calendar releases, I thought it'd be fun to share this little bar chart here of looking at each month and seeing how much Shoujosei we got. I thought it was very cool to see as the year went on in 2024, we actually did get more Shoujosei, which I'm like, yeah, November is stacked because apparently they're like, we want you to know you can get Shoujosei for Christmas. At least that's how my brain translates. We had 62 releases that month, and then February having 53, though I think, yeah, September had 55. So I was very happy to see that as the year goes on, that we are getting more Shoujosei. I would be interested to know why March was such a small month with only 36 releases. Like, why was it so tiny? What affected that? Because I feel like just from doing the January release calendar graphics already, and I do have that video up if you're curious about what's coming, that it is, January feels very small to me compared to the previous months, but hopefully I track this next year. Maybe just the end of the year has a lot more releases compared to the beginning of the year. I'm not really sure. That'd be interesting to see those numbers, but I thought this would just be a fun thing to share with you all, even though I'm like, it's not really that useful, but it's just fun to track, okay? It's just fun to track. If we want to go a little bit more in depth with that and seeing what came out each month, now there's a lot of information right here that is overwhelming. I do get that because I felt the same way at first, but if you want to see what each publisher released each month, and I think it's crazy that in February, Yen IZE Press had 22 releases. I think that was the biggest month of any release for any of the publishers. Though, no, I take that back. In December, 7 Seasons Steamship had 24 releases. It did feel like there was a lot of things releasing by 7 Seas just this past December, so I'm not surprised by that at all. And I guess the numbers do actually show that, but there's a breakdown of which publisher was publishing a lot. Kodansha, yeah, definitely definitely 6 volumes. That was hit in December. A very, very small, big month with 17 in February. And they seem to be averaging at least about 10 plus volumes. Yen Press feels sort of everywhere because in January there was 9, and then February there's 22, and then in March there was 8, and then it sort of goes up to like 13, 15. So it sort of gradually goes up. For Shoujo Beat, I mean, at least we have releases every month. I mean like that in a bad way, but I mean, you can see the consistency here that we at least have a few every single month. In 7 Seas is sort of similar to Yen Press, at least in the beginning. I would say that the numbers are not consistent because January they had 15, and then February was 5, which is weird, and then March was 10, but then it goes up to big numbers of 15, 19, and then like we said before, in December with 24. That's a lot. When I was putting all of the information together, when it came to Square Enix, they have about 2 Shoujosei manga that release every month, give or take. Definitely know that was Mr. Villain's Day Off and The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl, but I am excited that they are offering more, especially we'll see that later on when we go through all the information. And Inklore is pretty small. You can see where they came up on the radar. I guess it was May that they had their first with Loving Yamada. That was their first one. So they have, at least at the end of the year, 1 new volume releasing every month. I really feel like that's probably just Loving Yamada, to be honest. And then One Piece books being consistent, still continuing to showcase and share the manga that they have. And again, if anything, I was most surprised, it was just One Piece books and how they're actively publishing Shoujosei, because they're very much a small publisher, and I feel like they're just not on people's radar, and I'm not sure fully why that is. I'm not gonna speculate, but I just was really shocked to see that One Piece Books is actively publishing Shoujosei. Like, that definitely feels like a win. And talking about wins, let's go ahead and start breaking down each publisher that we have here and what they gave us in 2024. We're gonna start off with Shojo Beat and Viz with 67 Shoujosei releases. We had 7 debut series, 5 series that ended, and we had 12 new licenses. Let's first look at the debuts that we had. Now, I did mark on these what was a 2024 manga license of that year and got published that same year. So we have Kimi ni Todeke, From Me to You, Soulmate, which I loved so much, Let's Do It Already, and then last quarter, Otoku Vampire's Love Bite, Red River 3-in-1 edition, which was really big, the Vampire Knight complete box set, which was really surprising, and then Colette Decides to Die, which was really exciting and really surprising. And I was very, very overjoyed to have Otoku Vampire's Love Bite. I will be sharing my top 12 reads from 2024 based off of each month, which was my favorite, which Otoku Vampire was in one of them. And I'll also with that be sharing what was my #1 favorite read of 2024, so please stay tuned for that video. But yeah, lots of great things here, though. We did have a few series that unfortunately ended, like Children of the Whales, Imakoi, Now I'm in Love, which I didn't realize ended at the beginning of the year, Yakuza Lover, Kimi ni Todeke, From Me to You, which was really surreal because it did debut in 2024, but it also ended in 2024, which was a big sad, honestly. And then Neighborhood Story, which I believe the final volume just wrapped up at the end of December or beginning of December or the beginning of November. But we have some additional licenses that are coming, things to look forward to in 2024. Firefly Wedding coming out in January. So much excitement for this. My love story in college. I'm really, really excited. Coming in March, as well as A Star Brighter Than the Sun. We have Pink Candy Kiss, which I think is one of the first GL mangas that Viz has, Shojo Beat has actively licensed. A lot of people are excited for that. Snow Angel, Girl Crush. Girl Crush is under the Viz media line. That's why this is called Shojo Beat and Viz, but Girl Crush is an actual shoujo. And then we got the sequel to The Demon Prince of Momochi House. So we definitely have a few things to look forward to. And let's go into 7 Seas and Steamship. Now they had 100, I was about to say they had the most releases. No, we already clarified that was Yen Press. But they had 164 Shoujosei releases, 38 debut series, 17 series ended. But the one that they were the #1 Shoujosei licensor was 7 Seas, coming with 54 new licenses. Do you know how many times I had to count this number to make sure it was correct? Because it was just so high to me that I was like, wow, that is incredible to know. We had 54 new Shoujosei licenses. Like, that's a big number, which is awesome, but I was skeptical at first. I was like, my numbers are off. I'm counting wrong. I'm counting wrong. So let's see how their breakdown of their releases. So 53%, almost 54% is manga. Now Steamship, I did do its own little bracket, so we'll cover the 7 Seas debut, series ended, and additional licenses, and then we'll go into Steamship. And so we really did see an increase of Steamship as the year went on, with almost 19% of their releases this year. And then we had light novels. Manhwa, was really surprised how big that little chunk of manhwa is, because it doesn't feel like they're publishing that much manhwas, honestly. And then audiobooks, which I really feel like has had an increase for this past year as well. We did see, at least that I can think off the top of my head, at least 4 new audiobooks that came out in 2024 near the end of the year. The beginning of the year, I know they're still like releasing The Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent, and I feel like they had another one, but I'm blanking on that. Light novels, I'm not surprised because they do publish a lot of that. It does really seem, you know, from Wonderful Wednesdays that they'll have, if they license the manga and there's a light novel, they're going to license that too. So they license them sort of together. But let's look at the debuts, because as my friend said, the condemned villainess goes back in time and aims to become the ultimate villain. 2024 was that series year, with the light novel releasing, the manga releasing, and the audiobook releasing. Not only that, but the Evil Queen's Beautiful Principles had the same thing. It's a 2-volume series by the same creator as Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter. We had the light novel, and then we got the audiobook, and True Love Fades Away When the Contract Ends. Same thing as the condemned villainess, where we got the light novel, the manga, and the audiobook. Big year, it felt like, for these 3 series alone. Now we get into some more diverse series where it's not just the manga, the light novel, and the audiobook. We had Royal Tailor, we had Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me, and then going into some of the 2024 licenses, The Lady and Her Butler. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this. I Quit My Apprenticeship as a Royal Court Wizard. I love the cover of this series. I still have not tried it. And then Otonari Complex, which I've heard really good things about. And then we did have a little bit of the manga light novel here with I Abandoned My Engagement Because My Sister is a Tragic Heroine. That was an interesting series. And then we have another audiobook that I was thinking of, and that is The Haunted Bookstore, Gateway to a Parallel Universe. And we still have more debuts that are coming. Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter, that got an audiobook license this year. Diver Female Lead, very excited. Tiger and Dragon, My Kitten is a Picky Eater. And then the Yonoi Happy Hell one, I don't know how you say her last name, but those also got licensed this past year and released that same year. Heroine Saint Gnome and All Works Made, and proud of it. We had the light novel. We also had the manga, which I did do a first impression video last year. We also had First Kiss, which I still think it's surreal that it was licensed near the end of the year and still released before the end of the year. I also have a first impression of that one as well. And then Tale of the Secret Saint Zero, the light novel. Now let's look at the series that have ended. We have The Dragon King's Imperial Wrath. That was a 3-volume series. Marmalade Boy. It was really interesting because I saw a lot of excitement for the series in the beginning, but I don't know how many people kept up with it as the series came, you know, closer to the 5 volumes. The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent. The Other Saint, Bite Maker, Magical Angel, Creamy Mommy. The Night Captain is the New Princess to Be. And the Evil Queen's Beautiful Principles. That was, again, that was a 2-volume series. Obey Me, the comic. I was just seeing advertisements for Obey Me this morning. And we have a few more. What He Who Doesn't Believe in Fate Says. That I always get tongue-tied. And Raven of the Inner Palace. I do wonder if we're ever going to get the manga for this. And then The First Kiss, which we mentioned earlier. And then My Androgynous Boyfriend. Hopefully I said that right. But that one, I know a lot of people were happily excited that it was coming out, but also sad that it was ending. But like before, we still have some additional 7 Seas licenses, and I'm so excited. We have Home Sweet Home coming out, because that actually comes out after Glasses, because Glasses the Chance of Delinquent comes out this January. So excited! I'm so excited. I cannot wait to hold this series physically in English in my hands. And then we have Pet Shop of Horrors, the Collector's Edition, coming out in February. The Two Perfect Saint, which does have an anime coming. We have the light novel and the manga license. Choking on Love, coming in February. I Want to Escape from Princess Lessons. We have the manga coming. Now, we do have this digitally already available. It's on Azuki, and J Novel, I believe, is publishing them digitally. 7 Seas is physically publishing them. As of this video going live, I think that the anime is already airing, or it's going to be airing next week. King of the Land, I was going to say King of the Land, but King of the Land, the manhwa, is coming out in February as well. It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love, coming out in February. Very excited. Then Jean Bride, which also is in for Best Josei of the Year in Colleen's Shoujosei of the Year 2024. I did talk more about that in my manga news video on Monday if you're curious how to vote and where to vote, because the voting does end January 5th. So make sure you go vote, especially if you love this series. Also, we have Catman, I'll Forget You Starting Today, Senpai. What It Means to Be You. This is one of the ones I had it written in my list, but I didn't include the graphic, and I was so crushed. So I had to like go back, redo these graphics, and include it, because this is one of my most anticipated manhwa releases of 2025. And then we have, I don't know how to say that, SHWD, the Complete Yuri Collection. If you remember, we had volumes 1 and 2 published as singles, and then 7 Seas at one of their cons, they announced that they're putting the entire collection. To get volume 3, you'll have to buy it. Wolf's Daughter in a Werewolf's Tale is also coming. BL Game Rebirth, this was one of the last few announcements we had at 2024. And then for our last 3, Two Guys at the Vet Clinic, Tough Love at the Office, the Complete Yuri Collection. This is the same one as the one I just mentioned about, where we had volumes 1 and 2 released as singles, and then they said, hey, if you want the 3rd volume, you're gonna have to buy the complete collection to read it. And one of the last manga licenses, I think, of 2024 was Sensei's Mail Order Food, the Complete BL Manga Collection. fan as well. So definitely a lot to look forward to when it comes to 7 Seas, and I definitely have quite a few of these pre-ordered, or at least on my list to pre-order. But let's look at Steamship series debuts. We had quite a few. Especially when we look at those additional licenses, there was a lot. But it really does seem like it was a great year for Steamship. My Boss is a Giant, Before You Scarred Me, Healer for the Shoutout Hero, I Want You to Make Me Beautiful, which was the complete manga collection, Loyal Soldier, Lustful Beast. We had the light novel, I believe, released last year, got the audiobook this year, I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess. This is the sequel to the actual series. Alpha Wolf Girl and Omega Wolf Boy, Loved by Two Fiancés, which I meant I was curious about this, but I didn't think I could handle it, but I'm very curious about the concept of it. Had a few more debuts, A Suitable Fetish, which I think just released in December, The Villainess and the Demon Knight, the light novel, I feel like we have the manga, maybe we don't. Guilty Smile, that just came out last month. The Obsessed Mage, I think that just came out last month as well, and the Yakuza and His Omega, I believe that one also came out just last month as well. We had just a handful of series that ended, mainly My Boss is a Giant, I Want You to Make Me Beautiful, and The Obsessed Mage. All of those were one volume series, so they were just one volume, complete collections, or just a standalone kind of light novel. But Ladies on Top did end this year at 6 volumes, and The Revenge Miss Wrong ended at 4. Now, if you're curious about what is coming for 2025, there is a lot. We have the Missing O comic, which releases this month, Loving Moondog, which I saw a lot of excitement for. I am actually really curious about this series. I've been told conflicting things if it's actually steamy or not, so I don't know. But At Your Service in Another World, The Trap Former Villainess Wants to Escape, Seduced by the Demon King, Virgin Married, Adored by an Elite Officer, and then the Helpless Against His Alluring Touch. All 4 of those, maybe even 5, maybe 6 of these came out for licenses at the very end of the year. I mean, it was like that one, there was one Wonderful Wednesday where it was basically just Steamship licenses, and that's not all of them. We have a few more. You'll Become My Wife, Sweet Heat Before Falling in Love, and then the Drive one at the end. So lots of things. If you are a Steamship fan, you are definitely being fed not only in 2024, but you're going to be getting even more fed in 2025. So definitely stay tuned. 2025 might be your Steamship year. Let's go into Yen and IZE Press, who gave us the most amount of Shoujosei releases of 176. 31 of those were debut series. We had 8 series ended, and now we have 32 new licenses that happened, which again, great numbers. Not near that license number is not nearly as big as 7 Seas, but it's still a big number. I think they were the second most one to have the highest amount of licenses. So let's look at the breakdown here. Like 7 Seas, manga takes up almost 54% of their releases. On the flip side though, 31% is manhwa, which is not surprising because IZE Press is a manhwa publisher. Audiobook was really small. Honestly, the only one that I know that's releasing by them is My Happy Marriage. So I don't know if there's any other audiobooks. I didn't see any that were like debuts except for My Happy Marriage. But then we had light novels, which was 14.2%, which I think was actually smaller than 7 Seas. And that's surprising because I do feel like Yen Press is similar to 7 Seas in that they do give us a large amount of light novels. If 7 Seas doesn't get it, then you probably will know Yen Press well, at least when it comes to wanting to read more light novels, I feel like. So let's break this down, talk about the series debuts that came out this year. So none of these on this slide had a 2024 license. We have Bride of the Barrier Master, the manga, See You in My 19th Life, If the Villainess and Villain Met and Fell in Love, which I love that manga, it's so good. The Other Worlds books depend on the bean counter, the light novel, My Jemima, which is by the same creators, Mr. Villain's Day Off, Once Upon a Witch's Death. I will say this one gave me some struggle because the Japanese edition of this is 1 volume, but it looks like it's a 2-volume series by Yen Press, so I did not say that this series is ended and just said it was a debut since it had the number 1 on there, and I'm assuming that means it'll be number 2, I'm assuming. She Likes Gays But Not Me, and then The Perks of Being S-Class Heroine, which is 3 volumes, though I think the series is on hiatus for the manhwa. Now we get into the 2024 licenses. As you can see, all of these were 2024 licenses. Ori of the Beach Forest, very good. Ghost, In Another World, My Sister Stole My Name, another good one that I really love. Tengu's Love, another one I still need to read volume 2. And then we have Detroit Become Human, which I believe is based off of a video game, I think somebody said. Finding Camilla, I feel like I'm saying her name actually wrong, but that one, that's a manhwa that came from IZE Press. Pink and Habanero, volume 2 comes out in February. It's supposed to come out in January, but someone kindly told me like, hey, I got an email saying that my pre-order got pushed back to February, which my wallet hurts for that, but because February's stacked with releases, but anyway. And then we also got Spring Storm and Monster. Let's keep going though. Victoria of Many Faces, the light novel, came out in 2024. The manga manga you might know is going to be coming. I'll become a villainess who goes down in history. The manga, the small animal-like lady is adored by the Ice Prince, but we're the villainess we finally got this year. My Happy Marriage, the audiobook that I mentioned, Agents of the Four Seasons, we had the light novel, now we have the manga. This is the one, Candy. This is the other art book I was thinking that IZE Press gave us, and then Be My Worst Nightmare. But we still have more debuts. At The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess, the short story collection, that came out in 2024. Minute of the Harem came out from IZE Press. Stomp Kick Love, With You Our Love Will Make It Through. I Tame My Ex-Husband's Mad Dog, that came from IZE Press. Lucille Lay Has a Dream, and My Secretly Hot Husband. Yes, yes, yes. So excited we finally got that. But let's talk about some of the series that ended. They didn't have a lot, but they did have some. Phantom Tales of the Night ended at 12 volumes. I didn't realize that the series ended. I forgot Love and Heart had finished this year at 10 volumes. My Jemima was a standalone. Angels of Death Episode 0, which is the prequel to Angels of Death. I didn't know this was a video game or like a game in Japan. Never had even heard of this series, and I had to like triple check it that it was a shoujo. The Candy art book, because that was just, you know, a single art book. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim? It ended this year. She Likes Games But Not Me ended at 3 volumes, and the Abandoned Empress also ended this year at 9 volumes. Let's go into those additional licenses, things we can be looking forward to in 2025. I picked up this World Strategy Guide coming out this month. Very excited for this because it's a fully colored manga, and I love colored manga very much. Takahashi from the Bike Shop, lots of excitement for this one coming out this month as well. When it comes to next month, we have Kill the Villainess, I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down History, the light novel. Also Victoria of Many Faces, the manga. Helena and Mr. Big Bad Wolf coming out in February. In March, Sacrificial Princess, The Heir, White Rabbit, and The Prince of Beasts. So excited for this one. Also The Failure at God School, which is by the same creator as the Apothecary Diaries. A lot of excitement for that one. Still got a few more. We have Tamaki and Amane. This is, I think, a series of short stories in 1 volume. It is by the same creator that did Oku. There's another series that they did, but I'm blanking on what it is. The 31st Consort, I did mention in my most anticipated releases of 2024, or of 2025, excuse me. I'm very, very excited for this. Also, I mentioned others too, not just this one, but very excited. You can actually read this digitally on Bookwalker, though I think the chapters are also available on Amazon. Just Her Without Love, I'm Divorcing You, same case. It's on Bookwalker. You can buy the individual chapters. I think it's on Amazon. And A Witch's Life in Mongol coming in May. And one of my #1 license announcements, Villains Are Destined to Die, the novel. This was announced. There's just no date. There's no pre-order date. And I was like, look, come on now, Yen. I need you, or IZE Press, I should say. I need you to give me this because they've already got license or pre-order dates for the other novels I think that they licensed at that time. Like, this is the one. This is the one that I want. Well, let's go into Kodansha. 158 Shoujosei releases. Now, if you notice with the other slides announcing which publisher we're going to talk about, they would have a high debut series number, but Kodansha is the opposite. They have 17 debut series with 20 series ended, making the most series ended by a single publisher in 2024 with 13 new licenses. So it's sort of weird to see that series ended be the bigger number. Now, we're probably all wondering, what was the numbers for physical versus digital? Well, physical amount, we had 53.8%, so almost 54, and digital was 46.2%. I was shocked when I saw these numbers because it really does feel like we had more digital releases. And like some people have said with the physical, some of those are reprints, like the Sailor Moon box set, that we've already had those. They're not new series. So it might be why it feels like we had more digital releases than we did physicals. But let's see what they had for debuts this year. We had King in Limbo, the omnibus, Gazing at the Star Next Door. Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You, the paperbacks, because we already had this digitally. I See Your Face Turned Away, A Sign of Affection, the omnibus, which was a win. A lot of us, including myself originally, were like, why did you license this? But then I saw or heard friends personally, they're like, I watched the anime, I love it so much, I went and picked up the omnibus. And so I'm like, thank you, Kodansha, for licensing that omnibus. What a win. Mermaid Prince, Puppet Sets Attract. I just saw when I was actually working on this that volume 3 is up for pre-order. Very, very excited. Really, really, really enjoyed it. That Beauty is a Tramp, which is a Josei series, has stunning covers. Still more here, though. We have the girl who's flunking her high school glow up. I did like volume 1. Tokyo Girls Return, 2. This is the sequel to the original series. This is a digital only series though. The Boy I Love Became the Jaded Emperor. That's a 2-volume series. We have the Sailor Moon, the box set that came out, in November, I believe. Sheltering Eves by the same creators, Perfect World, and then A Brief Moment of Ichiyaka. Oh, and we still have more because so we have India Calling Me Now, which was the last Shoujosei digital license from Kodansha, but I also had to put, love that's an understatement, the paperback, and Blade Girl, the paperback, both of which I did a first impression video of. I was so excited. I have an unboxing on this channel in one of my manga news, and even though there wasn't like an official license announcement, we got an announcement saying it has been physically published. What a win. As I've said, I have nothing more bad to say about Kodansha because they gave me love that's understatement. Unless they're like, you know, we're not going to print anymore, then I'll have feelings. I'll have things to say. But they gave me my #1 manga license that I've wanted, so I'm very, very happy. It was a strong win for me personally and a strong way to end the year of 2024 when it came to Kodansha manga licenses. But now we're going to talk about the series that ended. So searching for my perfect brother, I didn't realize this was actually ended and that it was only 4 volumes. Same way with the Untouchable Midori-kun, I didn't realize that had ended either. Something's wrong with this. I forgot had ended near the beginning of the year. Boss Riot Days, I loved volume 1. I actually have a first impression video of just this manga. I paid full price for it because I was so interested in this Yakuza trope mixed in with the Otome game, putting it together. Has a love triangle, is definitely one digital only manga I would love to see physically licensed because I'm not a fan of love triangles, but I really love this series. Everything was done so very well. Don't Tempt Me VP ended at 5 volumes. Sakura's Dedication ended at 5 volumes. Getting Closer to You ended this past year and I was sad. Muscle Girl, I really, really, really have enjoyed what I've read. I think I've read 3 volumes of this series. I put it on pause because I hate how a love triangle was forming. I was like, forget the love triangle. Give me our girl just loving muscles with her dude. I'm 100% sold. Love the premise and I'm definitely going to be coming back to it. Then we had Mermaid Prince that ended. That is just 1 volume long. And then we have Mr. Bride. Mr. Bride ended this year and I was very sad. I've read volume 1 and really, really enjoyed it. That is definitely a series I would love to see physically printed. King in Limbo also ended this year because it is omnibus. Our Bodies Entwine also ended. Abe-kun's Got Me Now. I am just waiting to see this get a physical print because it is so much love. It has so many reviews on Amazon. If that counts, if that shows that there's love for it, that should be a huge sign. I have read volume 1. I was very put off by Abe-kun, honestly, but a lot of people said I need to keep reading, give it a second chance. I know that I have actually read the final chapter in one of the magazines that I have, and I loved how it ended. So I would love to come back to it. If it got physically printed, yes, I would definitely pick it up. My Lovesick Life is the 90s Otaku ended at 4 volumes this year, as well as Virgin Love. Also the Sailor Moon, a different edition. It was the smaller packed ones that you could get. That ended this past year at 10 volumes as well. And still going, A Brief Moment of Ichiyaki ended at 3 volumes. He's Expecting ended at 4. Life, which is going to be really weird. I've actually really enjoyed putting these on the release calendar and knowing it ended this past year at 20 volumes hurt a little bit, but I'm really thankful that it did get released because if I'm remembering right, this was released originally by Tokyo Pop physically, and then when the publisher fell through, they just stopped printing it. So now the whole series is at least available digitally. The Boy I Love Became the Jade Emperor was only 2 volumes, and then India Calling Me Now is just a standalone volume. Now, thankfully, we can look at things that are coming, though this is the only page for additional Kodansha licenses, things we can look forward to, and thankfully it starts off strong in February with Fall in Love, You False Angels. We also have the Ayakashi's Hunter's Tainted Bride by the same creator as Kakuryou, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, so stay tuned for that. I'm very curious about this series. It is on K-Manga. I actually really, really enjoyed what I read and I want to get it physically. The Dashing Zaddy, that one's coming in April. A Vampire in the Bathhouse has one of the cutest covers I've seen. I really love the cover of this and I was sad that I had to make it small and just focus on the guy because there's a huge yellow rubber ducky in the corner and I love it. Roar, A Star in the Abyss also got licensed. We're also same way as the Sailor Moon where they had the different edition. Codenamed Sailor V is going to be in that smaller, more compact edition as well. And then of course we're getting Magic Knight Rayearth Part 2 in paperbacks, as we should, because I'm sorry to anybody that has read the first 3 volumes physically of the paperbacks and it just ended there because that is one of the worst best cliffhangers I have ever read. It stands out in my mind that I just will never forget that cliffhanger ever because it's just wow. It's just wow. Moving on though, let's go to the final publishers we're going to talk about in this video, and that is Square Enix, Inklore, and One Piece Books. When we put them all together, they had 34 Shoujosei releases with 9 debut series, no series ended, and 9 new licenses, but let's see what they've released this past year. So Square Enix had 41.2%, Inklore had 20.6%, and then One Piece Books had 38.2%. Again, I'm just so surprised how much manga that One Piece Books has released. Square Enix, I believe right now, is all manga as well. So with both of them, I mean, that's just such a big number, and I'm happy because I have really enjoyed what both of these publishers have been delivering. And let's go ahead and talk about one of those series, starting off with Square Enix, The Villainess's Guide to Not Falling in Love, the manga. Very much hoping we get the light novels. I'm loving this manga. Yes, I did have to put my ship right there. Always a Catch was a 2024 license, and it debuted this year, as well as the My Happy Marriage art book, which just released in December or November. I've been seeing pictures of it. It is beautiful. We have a few licenses to look forward to. Very excited for the Toku Love Connection. This was in my most anticipated releases coming out in February. Very, very excited. If you need a very funny manga to read, this one's it. I love it. The Emperor's Caretaker coming out in March. My friend convinced me easily to give this manga a second chance. Really loved it. Already have the first volume on pre-order as well. And then we have Assassin and Cinderella that's also coming in March. This is one of the, I think, one of the top most read Shoujosei series on the Manga Up app, and it got licensed. And I heard, or I think it was said from the person that was doing the announcing the licenses at the con, that there was a huge excited uproar from the crowd that this was getting physically printed. Now with Inklore series, I combined the debuts and the licenses since they only had one license that was coming that's been announced so far, but we've been getting My Love Story with Yamada-kun. Father I Don't Want This Marriage did get licensed this year, and we did get volume 1. Volume 2 I believe comes out in February. And then we got Under the Oak Tree, the novel, and Under the Oak Tree, the comic. Both of those released I think near the end of the year. And then the one that they did announce, and I couldn't find a pre-order date or anything, is The Broken Ring, This Marriage Will Fail Anyway, and that's going to be the manhwa. I did see that you can digitally read the novel of this on Amazon, and the covers were very beautiful. I was struggling because I wanted to use that cover than this manhwa cover because it was just so very, very beautiful. But for One Piece Books, for series debuts and licenses, we had Tales of the Tendo Family debuted. The Nukozuke, I think I said that right, was a manga that got licensed this year, and we've had, I think, at least 2 volumes so far released. And then Tepeki Honeymoon, also my most anticipated manga list that I'm excited for things to come out, and that comes out in July, which is so far away, so far away. But with all of that combined, let's wrap it up, friends. Let's wrap it up. We have 599 Shoujosei releases with 102 debut series, 50 series that have ended, and 120 new licenses. I really feel like when we look at these numbers, there has been something for everyone. That a shoujo that came out last year, that there was something again for every single person, that some person that reads Shoujosei, that they had at least one win out of these 599 Shoujosei releases. Hopefully you had more than just one. Hopefully you had a whole bunch. I definitely feel like I had a lot of wins with the debuts and the new licenses, and definitely a few moments where I was like, I don't want this series to end. You know, I can't say it was a win its series ended because it's usually sad when a series ends. But yeah, there was just so much that released this past year, and I just really hope that you celebrate it, friends. Again, that's why I wanted to film this video and show that there were so many good things that we can look back on 2024 when it comes to Shoujosei and not just be like, man, nothing good came out. I'm just going to focus on the things I want to get licensed, which I have a license wish list as well, and I think those are great. I love working on it. I love adding things and changing things, but don't forget, friends, to celebrate the wins we had in 2024, that the English manga and the manhwa and the light novels that you and I can read, because it is a win. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And just so excited for all the amazing titles we got in 2024, all the amazing titles we're beginning in 2025. My wallet's hurting, y'all. My wallet's hurting. But I want to give a special thanks to Vampy from Shoujosei News and Info on X/Twitter, because I didn't start working on the Shoujosei release calendar until May, and everything before that was provided by Vampy. She has been so helpful. I've been so incredibly blessed by all the information that she has shared. And a special thanks to Shojo Crave on X as well, because when I had shared about her Hanatsume Wrapped, when I saw it, or I shared about it on Monday, but when I first saw those graphics, I was so excited and inspired to see the numbers. And all I could think was, man, it'd be so incredibly cool to see what that looks like for English manga. And that's how we got here. If it wasn't for inspiration because of Shoujo Grave, this video wouldn't even be here, friends. And then a huge, overwhelmingly huge shout to everybody in my Discord server who has been so incredibly kind. I spammed the chat, they sent me feedback, and I've just been so thankful for everybody that gave incredible feedback and helped this video to be, these graphics to be what they are right now, because without them, there would be some typos, there would be some errors, and they helped make it where it was the best it could possibly be. And I'll also leave a link to the Discord server down below. I think the link expires after 7 days, but it's open to anybody who's interested. We talk about Shoujosei stuff all the time. One of my favorite places to be. I love being on there. I've made so many great friends. So if you're interested in talking about Shoujosei with other people and celebrating those wins, cheers to more Shoujosei in 2025, and you want to celebrate those wins with other people coming up in the future, come join us, come join us. And ultimately, friends, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it spoke to you just of how wonderful 2024 was for the year of Shoujosei releases, and I can only hope that 2025 will have even more exciting Shoujosei with plenty of releases that make you excited, make you happy, and are some of your favorite series that get picked up or your new soon-to-be favorite series that are ongoing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!